Hey guys, what's up? This is STR talking. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we'll be giving a look on Doll, another character from the SaGa Frontier Part 2 banner here on Global. Doll is a character from the future, just like Cotton and Fuse, and like the past banner with Emilia, Rofus, Ren, Annie, and Liza. They both belong to SaGa Frontier, and that's the reason why they are releasing these characters sooner than the original dates. She is a mixed bag. She needs dexterity, she needs agility, she needs intelligence to perform all of her roles. Well, as you can see, she has 2 arrows for dexterity, only 1 for agility, and no arrows for intelligence. And she needs intelligence. This may affect her level ups. And now giving a look on the multipliers, she doesn't have much STR because it's not even used for gunners, but only 48 endurance. That means that if she gets attacked by physical attacks, the damage can be a little high. 90% on dexterity, that's pretty high for today's standards, but on Japan it's pretty normal. The agility is 82 and she has 50 points bonus for agility. That's good because she can be used for some stuff where she needs to attack first. And intelligence is on 88% with 13 bonus as well. Then we have Will with 70s. That's average for, well, today's standards on Japan. 70% for defensive status is okay. Nothing great. But Love and Charm has average status. That's because she focused on 3 status instead of just 2. The first skill is Aim Shot. This skill here is very good. It's blunt damage. C power 18 modifier, pretty high, very close to B. 21 is B. And then she has a small chance to insta-kill targets. And also a critical damage against humans. For the chance to insta-kill targets, we have a very good skill. Remember, she has very good intelligence, so she can land insta-kill with very good chances. She also has the same intelligence as another character that we still use for insta-kill, and that one is Ray. We still have a chance to summon for Ray because she's returning with her banner, and exactly 88 as well. She has a little more because of her normal cap being higher, and she also has a bigger bonus, but both will have similar chances. Then the next skill is Power Snatch. This one is a spell that can be reduced to 5 BP. It has damage, heal, and debuff. The damage is Power C, 20 multiplier, and then we have a recovery power of 15. 15 is not so bad. If you check here, it should be around 450 or 500 maxed for global. So around 2 spells to get her to very close to max HP. She's a character that works on full HP more than some others. And it also has a third effect. This one is a debuff, an STR debuff with up to 15 decrease in STR. That's the standard value for debuffs, and it's also different than most other debuff options. Bone Crusher and Submission uses 6 VP. She will use 5. Her competition is 2 characters that got released very recently, and also Battle of Bucket Hill Gustav. The first one is, let's give a look here, Butcher. Butcher has a debuff with very cheap cost as well, but Butcher's problem is his intelligence. This attack has both a buff and a debuff, but his own intelligence is only 31%, so he will be missing many debuffs unless you try to get him to the front of maybe the Animal String formation or Sigmoid formation. That allows Butcher to hit more often, but it still has a chance to fail. Other character that also has this option is Ren. Ren is a recent character from the first banner, and his AoE STR debuff is pretty useful, and it only uses 4 BP. Let's give a look here. Only 4 BP with Mirage Kick and its AoE. Ren is not exactly a damage dealer. Doll will do even more damage than Ren. Okay, and now getting back, we have another character but we cannot see it here because it was buffed for global, and that is Battle of Bucket Hill Gustav. That guy can debuff 2 times with an 8 BP attack called Double Flowing Slash, but his intelligence is even worse. It's only 18% if I remember correctly, while Doll has 88 against 18%, against 50%, and against 31% from Butcher. You can see that the intelligence is way higher. Having a higher intelligence allows you to reach 100% chances of debuffing. some enemies in the future will have a very high will, and you will have a hard time debuffing with characters that I just mentioned. So Doll will be perfect for this. Well, there's one more thing to talk about Doll. She will face a lot of competition in the future, with her freestyle having the same intelligence with 88%. And there's also the premium version coming with 107. That's insane. And these two versions of her can debuff intelligence. It comes from her freestyle. Look on this freestyle, it's like the best freestyle in the game. It has 475 total multiplier. That's higher than most characters we have right now in the game. And we have to give a look on all the different attacks that both versions has access to. And it's only one character. Let's give a look here, decreasing the zoom. Smoke is an AoE attack that debuffs STR, just like Ren. And the second attack also debuffs STR with a higher damage, but it's single target. She also debuffs other stuff like agility and will. Very interesting things that we need to debuff in boss fights. So maybe they are the perfect pair because they both do blunt and dark. Yeah, maybe they will be together on the same fights. But Skirek is probably easier to use and the better of the two. But right now on global, Ren has enough intelligence to debuff most enemies, and if you don't have enough intelligence you can buff it by formation like Sigmoid or Animal String on some others. The good thing is that Doll can be used in two different slots. She can be used on Dex slots because of her Dex based damage, or she can be used on Intelligence slots if you want more damage with Power Snatch and also higher chances to inflict STR Debuff. Because she also self-heals, it's very easy to sustain and keep her alive in long fights. The only problem is that 5 VP is still, well, more than 4, more than 3, and you will need 2 turns sometimes to just be able to use Power Snatch again. She does not work by herself. Even if you are using her for debuff, I believe that you will need to use 2 debuffers, and that also allows her to skip a turn in order to, well, use Power Snatch again on the next turn. Okay, so the last skill is called Dark Knight Bullet. This attack here is, well, good. I believe it's good. It could be better, especially since we have very powerful attacks right now with the characters that come from the future. It's an 8 VP attack with double S power, 49 multiplier, and it comes with 2 elements. It deals both blunt and dark damage. We are probably lacking dark damage, and that kind of helps her in the competition because we got so many pure blunt damage dealers. She brings at least something new. And it carries 2 buffs, 1 dexterity and 1 intelligence buff. So it helps her to do more damage with the first skill, also increase the chances of insta-killing, and also increases the damage of the second skill, and also the chances of debuffing. It's an interesting combination, but the problem is that you don't carry buffs to the next wave. So it's useful in challenges, in boss fights, but besides that, I don't see you using this unless you are missing some dark damage or you lack some blunt units. The good thing with Dark Knight Bullet is that you can use this 3 times in a row. You will have to wait till you have 19 BP, that is turn 4, and you can use this 3 times in a row. You can use it once, and probably on the next turn you have Overdrive. You can either use Overdrive on turn 5 or on turn 6, and that allows her to use 3 times, since on the last turn you have like 25 VP gained, and 3 attacks means 24 BP. Yeah, so turn 4, 5, and 6, and she gets the first skill with normal damage, the second one with higher damage, and the third one with very high damage. And then I suggest you be using this with Overdrive. The reason is, well, she has a passive that increases damage with Overdrive, combos, and also all times. Overtension is something that we saw with Cotton, we saw this with the new Red, and also with Rofas. It's not something that we should be seeing right now, it's from the future. It increases 15% damage at all times, so that's the same thing as Fired Up 4, but also 15% increase bonus on combos, and also 15% bonus on Overdrive, so a total of 45% increase in damage in Overdrive. But this build of only doing the third skill is only if you don't want to use her debuff. Maybe if you are facing an enemy that is probably only magical, and you don't need to debuff STR, I don't know, you will be using her like a nuker, and she's not exactly the perfect nuker. Even if you buff herself 2 times and using it on overdrive, she would not beat the recent units released, but the damage will still be pretty high. Okay? Some other passives we have is the first one called Hidden. This one will allow her to evade enemy attacks with a 50% chance. That's insane! It's very high. Acelus and Bune only do that with 25% chances, and she gets 50, but there is a catch. Only when all allies are alive. So this is better for when you are building her for the second skill, because she keeps self-healing and she will be alive and debuffing the enemy, decreasing the damage that you receive, that is if the enemy deals physical attacks. But also, she do not work by herself. I believe that you should be using probably Nawal's daughter with her. That's even better because Matriarch do not buff dexterity, only in intelligence. Nawal's daughter buffs everything and also gives guard up, so you can sustain more in long fights, and also gives her more BP, so that she gets more attacks in turns. So, it's good, but if you're not using the perfect scenario, the perfect squad, someone will just die and this will not work anymore. And that's not something that you want. When it works, it's amazing because you could even get her to the front lines. You could even use her like a tiger shark formation and rely on RNG for her to survive. Use her like a tank even, if you want. Tiger shark increases the chance of being attacked by very high, and then she could be there. Even Tiger Shark increases dexterity on the front. You can even use exactly what I was saying with Dark Knight Bullet. Or you can just use her for debuff on the front. It works. But more for magical attacks. Because, well, a boss that uses magic and physical maybe. Because her endurance is pretty low. If you get hit, you will receive a lot of damage. I'm just explaining some different usages for the character. Okay, and the second passive is more damage when you have full HP. And guys, having full HP is something that I really don't like. It could have just be fired up 5. Fired up 5 increases by 20 as well. Unless they increase the value, like maybe go for 30% increase with full HP. But not this. Well, it is what it is. At least she's one of the best characters to have full HP in this game, because she can self-heal, she has evasion, and she already has a very high agility. If you want to use some agility formations to increase agility as well, or just debuff the accuracy of your target, like using dexterity for physical or agility for mages, it works. She may evade even when she's being attacked without the full evasion passive. I don't know. It will really depend on your squad. If you're using Princess White Rose or Bune right now against a boss that it's just magical attacks, you have a chance of evading, especially if you are also using Nawal's daughter or the future Matriarch. But just remember, Matriarch will not increase her damage. She does not buff dexterity, at least so far, unless they make a change for global. So, yeah, you need a specific squad to take everything out of this doll. She's pretty niche, but it's a very good niche. You could just keep using Power Snatch forever in a boss, and it just works. You can build her for full damage with Dark Knight Bullet. It works as well, especially for Dark. You can also use her for insta-kill in Conquest, but only on turn 2. Well, she's a little limited on this regard. In my opinion, she's a very fun character to use, but she's not on the top of the game. She cannot be compared to Rofus, she cannot be compared to Liza, she cannot be compared to Emilia, or even to Cotton. Being in a niche is something that decreases the value of a character that you wanted to use all the time. But when you have the niche to use, you will find a very incredible character that will help against the special boss fights and future challenges. Oh, one last thing, you can use her in different formations as well. You can use her on the standard Anima Stream formation, you can use her on a Rainbow Rangers formation, in Sigmoid. She works pretty well in many different occasions. Sigmoid has to be reverse Sigmoid and not the standard one, because that one increases dexterity and intelligence. She can get both things. And Tiger Shark she can be used in the front line or even in the back, because it also increases both intelligence and dexterity. It's easy to use her, it's just that you will probably need to find squad that works around her. That's my opinion on Doll. What's yours? Please say here in the comments. I will not be giving a grade just like I did with the past banner, because I don't think it's worth right now. The characters are just so over the place that it really doesn't make sense. But thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. If you want to support the Nuking's links on the description of the video. We see each other on the next one. Bye.